a lot of photographers, not me, but a lot of them do it, where it's fake it till they make it.
That's what I did.
Yeah, no, but in a way that they'll brag, saying, "Oh, I've got 40 inquiries today," or "I've got 600 weddings this year." Dude, you ain't. It's a rough journey, and to be good, I know a handful of people that don't stress every year, especially when it gets to winter season, saying, "What am I going to do?" You know what I mean? Money wise, it's tough. It's very difficult.
Yo guys, it's Shunki here back with another video on Tenet Productions. I hope you guys are doing well. So I am very humble today because Garry is joining the podcast now. You might have heard me mention a few times on YouTube or even on Instagram about Garry. He's never in front of the camera, but I've got him here today. We've managed to get him in front of the camera, join on this podcast series that we're shooting today. I'm excited to deep dive into a few questions. I'm excited to find out the reason why Garry is who he is, and why he chose this path into content creation. So Garry, we're here joined today. I'm excited, man.
Yeah, me too. Feels like I've done this all before.
we have, and I'm excited to announce it now on YouTube as well. But yeah, so let's start from scratch, man. So what got you into content creation?
Picking up a camera as a kid. I always liked photography, and then obviously with you, we've got into videography. But yeah, for 30 odd years, I've been taking photos. So after COVID, it was just a good transition to go into something I love. So yeah,
nice, man. I told me through the transition into picking up a camera and now to being in a wedding industry. Told me through how that sort of happened. I mean, the journey.
I guess it was from my businesses before COVID. I used to always be promoting myself, always advertising myself with my photos. And then we had a drone. We got a few drone photos of my gardening business. And then just randomly out of nowhere, I got a message saying, "Can you photograph a wedding?" And yeah, ever since that, just taken off.
Can you tell us a bit more about the previous business that you had, the gardening business? What is it you were doing?
Yeah, so I had 8 lads working for me up in Lake District, and we had our multi-million-pound gardens, nice. Helicopters next door, boats. It was great laugh. Beautiful views every day, coffee by the lake, and nice. We loved it. And we had about 60 houses, I think, if I remember, that we looked after. So we did well. But
how did you get into that? Something like that?
I was opening a bar randomly up in Keswick, and the guy just randomly on Facebook was like, "Oh, I need a gardener," and we were waiting for a plumber to come to my bar, and I said, "Right, I'll come do it for a few weeks, I'm not bored." And I realised how much money we were making, and I'm like, right, I need to get on this instead of doing the business that I was going to do all year round. Really good money. I mean, I had 8 lads working for me, and I was making £40 an hour from 2 lads. So it was doing good.
And then content creation came
just fell in from that, from advertising and just getting people to know who we was and coming up with a different way of approaching it instead of being, for local gardener. Everything was high standard for quality of photos, our uniforms, everything. Nice. So yeah.
I mean, how did wedding come? So your wedding's like the first wedding you did from the phone call that you got. How did that go?
Great, yeah. Went up night before. I'd just get a coach or train up to Durham. Nervous, so I went for Indian, and yeah, absolutely nailed it. Loved it. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it at all, and yeah, the couple were lovely. The guests were crazy as out, and I was just like, I could do this full time. So yeah, so it came from being a bit unsure about doing it and a bit scared of, look, it's a wedding day. I don't really want to be touching people's biggest day of the year. To be like, right, I'm on it. I want to do this full time. So
I mean, with photography, what would you prefer? Would you prefer photography or videography in terms of shooting the content?
Shooting it, I think photography, editing, video. So I feel like you can tell more of a story in the video than you can in the photos. But at the time, it's nice just to capture those stills
Okay.
of like special moments between a couple or a little child running around. So yeah, so it's a mix of both. I mean, you've got me into video a lot more, and I really see more from a videographer approach now. And I've still got like
A lot to learn.
yeah. I think everybody's learning.
Same with myself. Like, this is the reason for this podcast, guys. Like, the reason is we want to benefit those that are learning, that are picking up the camera. We're not benefiting those. Obviously, if people are there, like the way I look at it is a scale of 10. I see myself as a 5 or 6, someone that's average, someone that's in the ranks to being a great videographer. I don't mean to blow my own trumpet, but I'm benefiting those that are like 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
So getting them to sort of my level, and that's what I'm wanting to bring yourself on board and bring a few other people on board in the podcast is to bring them to the level where I am at, and then hopefully they can prosper in terms of everyone else. Like, that's how it is. You learn. The more you learn, the more you earn.
I've got to say, this business is all about learning, all about trends, all about different approaches. Like we've seen Justin Porter with his way of doing it, reality TV, and like, right, I want to sort of capture some of that, but not all of it. And then you've got other people like Fire and Ice that capture such a vibe from the videos. So you're always learning, you're always rubbing off each other, especially because it's such a unique industry.
It is. It's just being creative, and there's no right or wrong answers.
Nah, and every wedding's different, and you can tumble up at a wedding and they want something completely different to what you're visioning, and you've just got to go with some blows sometimes.
So, in your journey, what's been the biggest challenge you faced, and how did it shape to you?
Money. I think that's the hardest bit. It's okay with people saying, "Oh, you can just pick up a camera and go." You can, and you're going to do a crap job. Like, you need quality equipment. You need to be able to advertise yourself properly. You need to be able to ensure yourself. You need to set up as a business and imagine it as a business, and not just be this person that goes, right, I've got a camera, I'm going to go shoot weddings. It's not going to happen. You need to be financially capable of getting the right stuff and knowing how to use it. So practice all the time, even if it's on just an object.
I mean, as a business owner as well, like, you've got to wear all the caps.
Yeah, and people don't see that. People just see it as, oh, I'm very creative, I know how to take a photo. It's not going to cut it. You really need to know how much money you need to make from each wedding to be able to support you, your family, your career, whatever you want to do. So yeah, you've got to really be able to invest your time and money into a business like this.
Nice. And if there's one tip you could give, like, I mean, you've experienced a lot with many businesses. One experience you could give to someone that's watching you about, setting up their business, videography or photography, or even content creation business. What's the biggest advice we can give?
Business plans. It don't matter how new you are or how old you are. People get into a rut where you go into it 6 years down the line, you're doing the same thing every week, and you might be, making enough money, but is that all you want? You need to be a businessman first. When it comes to wedding photography, a lot of people go, it's a passion. That's great, but you need to be able to invest your time to grow the business and see your future, because, you've got retirement to think about. You can't just go into it and thinking, right, this is it, that's it, I'm great, I'm set for life now. You've got to really just keep looking at yourself and thinking, right, how can I work on myself? Keep putting that business plan in, change things up. Some years you might hit it, some years you won't, but yeah, definitely really investing your time in organising what you're going to do each year.
Nice, I like that, man.
Yeah.
I like that. And I've always asked this question as well to my content creations. What's your why? Why did you get up in the morning to shoot a wedding? Why do you get up in the morning at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock to edit that wedding film? Why?
The love of it. Like, it is a bug. Like, when you've got couples messaging you, like I've just got some couples message me from this weekend saying, oh, the photographer was amazing, he was such a lovely guy, you were so nice, people really relaxed because of you. And it's a great feeling, like, to be able to have people appreciate not just your couple, but the families, the mums, the dads, the great grandmas that are there, and capture those moments and them appreciate it so much. That's the why. I mean, you can say it's for the money, you can say it's for lots of things, but the appreciation you get back from it as well is just lovely. Yeah.
And coming on to my next question, I mean, we've shot weddings together. If you guys haven't known already, we've come across some weird couples. I mean, let's give one for the viewers. How would you deal with a Bridezilla?
Contracts. No, oh God, I need more for that one. You need to be able to approach people that are going to be understanding that you're a photographer and it's a business, and it's not. You can message you at 11 p.m. at night asking for 12 photos that you didn't receive. You need to realise that from your perspective, you're a business and you've got to be able to manage your time and your ways, and they've got to realise that they're buying into a business, not a person, and you've got to treat that as a business as well. It's not going to always happen. You're always going to get a Bridezilla, you're always going to get a Groomzilla or whoever it's going to be. Just, you've got to appreciate that it's their day, it's a stressful day for them. But if you've got your contract in place, if you've got all the necessary bits lined up in the row, you're going to be fine. But you just got to be nice to them. Like,
So nice one. And like, if you were to like restart your journey again as a wedding photographer, videographer, how would you change things?
I've been thinking about this one. So I would, if I could, stay from now, invest in going to college or learning more about lighting or just little things that you're weak on. Anything that you're weak on now, really homing on to those details. So if it's sound, if it's audio for videographers, if it's lighting, make sure you are so clued up on that. And then advertising, I definitely would spend a lot more money on advertising than I do now.
I mean, when you say college, what do you mean? So an actual campus or like an online?
Online, if you can do it that way. If you want to be around people, do it there. If there's amateur photographers that are in studios that can teach about lighting, especially because people don't realise that. I think that's the biggest thing from being an amateur to a professional, is knowing your subject and knowing how to light a subject and knowing how to get that background to just pop a little bit more than it would without light. And the only way to learn that is either practice lots or be around those same creative people that are going to be able to say, right, just twist it here, just add a little bit more. You know, you learn it and you'll learn it through your progress of being a wedding photographer. But yeah, I'd definitely spend more time in that side.
Nice. I mean, would you rather invest in lighting or lenses?
Oh, that's a difficult one. You only need one good lens. Like, everyone says nifty 50, but I don't believe that. But if you've got one good lens, you can spend more money on lighting, and the lighting will just, I think it's the magic.
I mean, Gary's just triggered a memory as well. There was a wedding we shot last year, an English wedding. The guy with the nifty 50, I forgot.
Yeah.
Talk us through that, man.
That was bad. No, bless him. He was just an art photographer. I don't think he had much money in equipment again. It was a cheap nifty 50, so he wanted good glass and quality, obviously. But he's also capturing the image right, and he didn't do that. He really just took a picture and just hoped for the best. And you can do that if you're doing an Asian wedding. You know how many photos you take. You take 3,000 photos. You're not going to do 3,000 good photos. But when it comes to like English weddings and you're taking just one family group shot, you need to get that right first time. And he just didn't have it. Bless him. He was a lovely guy. I wish I remembered who he was. And there's a lot of photographers that are a lot worse than him. And it wasn't that bad, but because he had that one lens and he just walking around hoping that we sort of encouraged him to do stuff. Yeah, we're a bit tricky.
Nice, man. And what advice can you give to the viewers here in the wedding industry? Because you're a photographer. How to work well with videographers, how to work well with other people on set.
Find out who they are beforehand. I mean, I've got a few weddings this year that I know I'm going to be meeting new people for the first time. I've got one in France. I'm videoing, they're photographing, and I've said to them already, like, look, this is how I do stuff, this is what I'm going to be doing. Just had a conversation with them, and I've got so many friends in this industry that if I don't know who they are, you know, let's be friends and let's work it out. Because when you do meet up and you do work together, I've done it with a guy called Rob, you're going to work so much more easily and smoothly because you've already had that chemistry, you've already had that communication.
Makes sense. Man.
So yeah, just take your time. Make sure you're not interrupting each other. Be vocal, because if you're not, you're going to get in people's way and you're going to annoy each other. So yeah, just work along with them as best as you can. Don't matter who it is in the industry, if it's a vendor, hotels, whatever. Be nice to them and just, yeah.
Nice, man. And it comes on to my next question as well about networking. How important do you think networking is?
Loads. If it's not with photographers and videographers already, vendors, hotel suppliers, food, cars, it doesn't matter.
Food.
Especially food. But yeah, it don't matter who it is. Get talking to them, especially if you're at a wedding fair. You know, if you can help that person, a makeup artist, whoever it is, you don't know how many referrals you're going to get off that one person.
No, you don't.
So you've just got to work hard to meet people. Networking is so important.
I mean, how do you tackle networking? So, how would you? What advice would you give to a newbie about someone that's really shy and introvert, that's scared to send a DM? What would you say to them?
If you're nervous about sending a DM, that's fine. But is it the right business for you? And I say that in a way that you might get to the wedding day. You might be able to go through a wedding day with ease, without having that sort of nervousness or anxiety or whatever it is, you know. But you've got to be able to communicate with people. You've got to be able to have a laugh with people. You've really got to have a personality to stand out a little bit more and to be able to connect with people, because you're selling yourself as well as the business. And if you can't sell yourself on that day, you're not going to get a return on investment on other weddings. So it might not be the business for you, but if you can, message everyone. Like, go to hotels, wedding fairs. I've done 10 this year. Do as much as you can to meet other people. It don't matter if you get weddings from them wedding fairs, but meeting those people they're in your industry. You know, if they're like you, who knows where they're going to send you?
A referral.
Yeah.
And it could go a long way. I mean, talk us through about wedding fairs. What's your experience with wedding fairs? Because I know you've done a lot this year. We've done 2, but I know you've done a few more than me.
Yeah.
What's a few things that you've learned in the wedding fair industry?
They're all pretty much the same. You just got to make sure when you go to one, you speak to everyone. Like, network again. If it's the hotel staff, you know, be nice to them. Just, you're seeing someone struggle, help them. Do you know what I mean? But when it comes to selling yourself, you've got to look at it as, what are people going to see when they come to you? So are you going to have goodie bags? Are you going to have banners? Are you going to have images there? Are you going to have a TV screen? And it's basically, it's for where you're going to sell your business. And if you can do it properly and you can do it right, sometimes it's just personality. Me and Faye did one in Leeds. We got 3, 4, 5 weddings from it. And it was just because we were just working off each other and we were having a laugh. And the couples realised we were married. And then it became that conversation of, oh, how long have you been married? And we just sold ourselves. And same with you and me when we've done Asian weddings. It's, you know, the girls have come up to us and the dads have come up to us and be like, right, you know, can you do it cheaper? But, you know, it's just, you've got to have that conversation with people. And you've got to...
You're not bad, 100%, and I agree 100%. You've got to have that personality.
Yeah, and you've got to be able to advertise your business, like you now, branded. You know, if you've got the right branding...
Your branding as well, Ginger and Fizz.
Yeah, gym equipment. But yeah, no, you've just got to really be able to sell your business, and that's the main part of the wedding fairs. And you can't expect to get weddings from it, because if you do, you're going to be shocked straight away. Like
we were at the Diamond Wedding Fair.
Yeah.
No offense to them guys. Them guys were great.
Oh, they were lovely, and it was just wrong time of year. It might have been weather, it might have been whatever, but you've got to expect that sometimes. Even as a vendor putting on a wedding fair, you've got to realise
the risk. Yeah.
Sometimes it just doesn't happen for you. So yeah,
the risk and reward ratio is quite, it's versatile, so it's not guaranteed. But yeah, it's great, man. Let's move on to the next question. So we're going to talk about inspiration now. So what's your biggest source of inspiration into moving to be a better content creator?
I think looking at other people's work's important. Not copying, but definitely looking at how other photographers would take a picture. Especially if you've been to that venue and you're like, I couldn't find a great spot for that couple. And then you go onto Instagram and they've been tagged and it's like they blew out of the park. You know, it's not being jealous or anything like that, but you've got to really look into other people's work and see how they're doing it, how they're capturing stuff. Working with other people, so inspiring to see other people working. And nailing something. Like, I'm always about, if you're good at your work, you know, I love to see people do well. So I'm always about, if I can help you get to a certain thing, don't matter about me, I want to see you, you know, achieve what you've got. And I feel like that's really important, because for the person behind you, it's doing the same for you, and it's that karma and that. Yeah,
that's good, man. That's good. Just takes a lot of balls to say something like that, man. Especially in the wedding industry, because a lot of people.
Oh, there's so many bitching and so much. Just ignore those people. They've been doing it for 15 years. They're happy doing what they want to do. Do you know what I mean? And they're in a different lane. And you see other people and they're really pushing it, putting so much effort. And I saw one who's 18 years old, and he was like nailing it. Like, he's got 30 odd weddings this year. He's been to Jamaica, because we were talking about that, and he was just like, oh yeah, I'm in Miami next year, I'm in Mexico the year after. And I'm like, dude, doing so, like 18 years old, and you've got a team of 4, and you just, it's good, man.
Sick, man. That's good. And yeah, man, I mean, knowing people like that as well, it's a great thing to have. And let's move on to, so if you could give a message to your younger self, what would you say?
The lottery numbers for that Saturday was that I've always been off the cuff. I've done loads of different businesses. I've done loads of different jobs. I just say, just do what you're doing. Like,
you are who you are because of
you've made mistakes and you've grown from it, and that's, you know, it don't matter what. I'm 38 now. It don't matter how old you are. You can set up a new business. You can do something new now, even in your 50s. You know, age is not really irrelevant. If you love it and you can be successful, go for it. Like, there's no point going into the back and saying, 18-year-old Gareth, why did you do that? It happened.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's life, you know, as it goes, you know, enjoy the process.
Yeah.
Enjoy the process, man.
I've made so many mistakes that, you know, I think it's benefited me.
Are you okay to mention, like, the biggest mistake you made in content creation, that someone that can benefit from your mistake? Like, for me, I can tell you straight up, this is going on YouTube, but like, I've rocked up to a wedding once. I only had one SD card and I had 2 cameras.
Yeah, that's fair.
Schoolboy error. But what I did was, the photographer, shout out to Maria Khan from Birmingham, by the way, she actually lent me her SD card, which karma, because what happened was, she lent me her SD card and I was so grateful. Yeah. Then we went to that wedding fair, and then Atia, the one, she needed an SD card and I lent her mine, because that's how it works.
Yeah.
I mean, I was stung, because I just started off and I did that wedding for free, and I was like, yo, I ain't got another SD card. And boom, she lent me an SD card. I gave it her back. And I did the same thing at the wedding fair. And it's just that karma. It's just, you know, you work well with others. And don't get me wrong, like that female photographer that helped out, she literally wants to work with us, and she wants to she wants to join Tenet Productions. But we'll see how it goes, man. I'm excited.
I think, I'm not sure what mine are. First time I went to France, I took that much Red Bull, and I was that nervous. I didn't give myself time to, like, mentally be like, right, I'm there, rest, do the wedding for the next day, off the day after. It was like, right, I'm there. It's 3 hours before the wedding, and I was so unwell. It wasn't good. I struggled, and I was there with a drone, and we was horse and carriage. I had gimbal, and my drone up in the air, and I'm like this. So the gimbal's absolutely shaking, and it was the first running, so it was heavy, and it was just not good. It wasn't good at all. But I think everyone makes mistakes and little mistakes and stuff. It's just you just got to not stress about those. Like you say, there's people there to help you. And worst case scenario, most places are close to shops, so as long as you charge all your batteries or got batteries or SD cards like yours, it's just adapt, move on, don't stress.
Learn from mistakes 100%.
But massive word of advice: make sure your bag's prepped for the day before. Like, everything's mic'd up, everything's checked, batteries. Like, that's such a rookie move sometimes, where you've gone to a wedding and it's like, batteries are in another case. It happens, but you know,
you don't want
you just got to make sure it doesn't happen again.
You don't want it to happen. This is Schoolboy Error, man. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
So moving on to the next question, like, what's one misconception someone might have about your journey in content creation, and how would you like to address it about yourself?
Yeah.
a lot of photographers, not me, but a lot of them do it, where it's fake it till they make it.
That's what I did.
Yeah, no, but in a way that they'll brag, saying, oh, I've got 40 inquiries today, or I've got 600 weddings this year. Dude, you ain't. It's a rough journey. And to be good, I know a handful of people that don't stress every year, especially when it gets to winter season, saying, what am I going to do? You know what I mean? Money-wise, it's tough. It's very difficult. Luckily, we've got just enough weddings to roll us by, but I still don't think it's enough for me, especially. Getting the price right, that's really important. But yeah, it's not easy. Even as content creator or whoever you are, when it comes to it, you've got to really realise that you might be skinned for a very long time before you make it. It's like any other business, but this business, you've got Facebook warriors that are going, I'll do that wedding for 200 quid. They don't turn up, or if they do, they don't give you your photos because they're absolutely, naff.
Yeah.
So it's basically just expect to be poor for a while.
Use PayPal. Like I use PayPal sometimes, and it should pay off over a monthly basis. Or
yeah, but it's also a second job maybe for some people. But you don't need to have loads of equipment. It's not the outgoings that it's for like just general house bills. All you need is, if you're a content creator and you're doing something like this, you do only need a cheap camera. You can have, what's that one? 250D. You can have that, from way back when, or 600D if you want one from 15 years ago. But if you want to, grow it as a business and you want weddings and you want a real regular income, you're only getting deposits first year. So remember that when you come to, doing them cheap as well. Second shooting's great to, bonus a little bit of money, but
get your confidence up.
It's still £200, £300, £500. It's not a lot, and you've got to do like 4 of them in a month, and you've got to think tax and everything else included. Yeah, you really have to work so hard, and if you're in your 3rd year and you're still struggling, you're doing something right because you're still there. So don't give up, just keep pushing at it.
Keep pushing. Nice, man. What makes a good photographer and what makes a bad photographer?
It's their day. It's not you. A lot of people, and unfortunately one of my favourite heroes of photographers, so I won't say his name, but he says, it's my photos and I want to get that photo. It's not your day, it's their day. And yeah, it's great to have those photos and incredible, and you've done well from it, but you've got to be able to make them, especially a couple, ease as much as possible. And if you can do that, and you can be friendly, you can be that loving person who's like a brother or sister to them, that's the main bit.
I mean, talk us through the people skills in terms of weddings.
Just friendly. First half hour, don't even take a photo if you don't have to. Just chat to them while they're getting their makeup done, their hair done, to see if the groom, if they're all feeling like, oh yeah, it's really, really laid back environment, they're going to be nervous an hour before the wedding.
Okay. I mean, in my experience as well, shooting a wedding requires a lot of skills.
Yeah.
One of them's been the people skills as well. I believe personally as well, shooting a wedding, 60% or 70% of it isn't actually filming the wedding or shooting the wedding. It's how you work with people.
Yeah, 100%.
How you work with the guests, how you work with the photographers, how you work with the vendors. People don't understand that.
Not even that. You're a wedding coordinator.
Yeah.
Most people there have never done a wedding before. So you might be a DJ for them walking down the aisle, and you've got to press play for the wedding song. So you're there to help, and it takes a moment to do those little things, but they love it. So it's just communication, realise what is involved in the wedding day. You sometimes little telltale signs if a couple's nervous, or how the day's going to plan out quite quickly when you see a couple from first thing in the morning. It's like, right, you're too calm, you're going to be crying at the altar. It's just 100%. You see it all the time. But then, like you say, vendors, or someone might have ripped the jacket, so I've got a sewing kit. It's just those little things that you come to realise you might need that. So yeah, you just grow with experience and doing them more and more. you'll be doing a lot more and more for other people than you expect.
I get you, man.
But yeah.
Have you got any horror stories you can share about vendors and wedding vendors that you've had? Well, a shit show with them basically. A bit on the spot, but yeah.
I don't think we've had that many bad ones, to be honest.
Or even other photographers and videographers that you bumped into that just want to run the show and think that, you know.
Yeah, we've had one before where it's been, just bossy.
Yeah,
not my one. He was bad. He was bad because he was just good. But the old...
Yeah. No, that old guy, yeah.
Crown Platinum.
A double tree at Sheffield.
Yeah. He basically just was like, right, I'm getting in your way. You know, and then once he was done and I was getting my photos, he still got in my way too. And you're going to get those people. Like, they're just make sure you get the shots you need and make sure you're not messing their shots up too, because they're there for the same reason. But when it comes to like most vendors, there's sound, especially food ones, because you know what they're like, they look after you. So
shout out to Crown Events. I mean, that
100% Crown. But the Arabic food, like that hummus, yeah, man.
That was good, man. I mean, when it comes to tough decisions in shooting a wedding, what sort of the process? Let me give you an example. You're shooting a wedding, the bride and groom are entering the altar, your battery's going to die. What would you do?
First, never let that happen. But if you do, have a camera bag on you. Make sure you've got those extra bits that, if you need it. Yeah, I mean, I've always got batteries in my pocket nowadays. But yeah, if you've got to go somewhere to get something at that point, you're sort of screwed. Do you know what I mean? I mean, there is certain bits where you can maybe slow it down, but most wedding venues in most ways how it is, you've just got to make sure you check 10 minutes before the main bits like that you've got extra stuff in your pockets. So SD cards, I have like 6 on me, batteries. You never know when an SD card's going to run out because you're not checking that. No. So just have spares. And like I say, with the backups and stuff, it's so like invaluable. I'll get that before light. If you've only got one battery and you're not spending money on lights, you're doing something wrong. You know what I mean? So yeah.
I got you, man. That's good, man. I like that. Let's move on to the next one.
Went to spinning class this morning. This is rougher.
So, can you share like the most pivotal moment in your career as a content creator that's redirected your journey into who you are now, into being one of the best photographers in the industry?
Well, I think it was that wedding in Durham. Like, just I wasn't expecting to enjoy it. Like, I was nervous. I was looking at wedding poses. I was looking at trends for weddings. All the way up there, and then, God, was it a trend? It must. No, it was a coach. Got a coach up there because I thought he'd give me more time to sit down and just look stuff up. So I had the shot list, and to be honest, I didn't use it. Like, I had about 100 photos on my phone. I had all these like little things. I knew all the bridesmaids, groomsmen, and one of my favourite photos is of Tony Blair in the paint in the back whilst the guys are having a drink, and it's just such a random photo, and I loved it. But yeah, I think that moment, once I finished that wedding, I was like, right, I'm doing this.
Nice, man.
I had another wedding like 2 weeks later, and it was in November.
Spot on.
So yeah.
It's good, man. I mean, that's mad. I mean, let's talk a bit more about the future. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
I want to be doing this.
What's stopping
difficult? Money, like I say, like I'm in this stage at the moment where it's like I've got 4 kids, I've got a wife. We're trying to grow a business up. You know what it's like with us. It's difficult times at the moment, especially when you look at like content creator wedding for photo videographers that are trying to step in, as well as these people with cheap DSLRs, and you've really got to be able to stand out. And I think the way to stand out is, one, invest in more stuff like studios. I think it's really important for a couple to feel like you're established, because there's so many people now doing it that are messing this industry up, that I feel like if you've got a studio and you can sit them in the studio and then they feel like, right, okay, he's a photographer, and you can talk to them there, showcase your work. All those little things are important, but it's more money, and it's having that money to be able to go to that step. So yeah, so I think in 5 years' time, I hope I've got a studio, I hope I've got a team, I hope we've got a team, I hope that the industry don't flop like I feel like it's gonna, and yeah, just hope for the best.
I mean, what's your opinion as well on focusing on different things? So, like, yeah, we talked briefly off camera because I do weddings as well, and Garry mentioned something about why are you doing this podcast? Why not? We spoke a bit off camera, and Garry mentioned about why are you doing the YouTube? Why not stick to one thing? I mean, why is it you're adamant on sticking on one niche?
I feel like until you've made it with that one thing, don't rush. Like for me, when I had my gardening business or whenever I've thought about doing businesses, I might have like 6 ideas, and I've got these 6 ideas that I'm putting into practice, but only one will work out because I'll realise quickly that I want to focus on that one thing and grow that and nurture that and make it to something successful. When you get to that point and you're bored and you're like, right, this is doing really well, I'm making this income, go on to the next thing. This is a slow burning process with photography. Don't matter if it's commercial, don't matter if it's portrait, if you're doing it in a studio, you're going to have that slow moment. I feel like really focus on your techniques, your quality, get everything into perspective with that one business. Then, I mean, you can do this on the way, but focus on that one thing that you want to do. If it's podcasts, get yourself a studio with podcast setup. Spend that money on there. Spend that money on advertising. Get people in. Don't matter who they are. If you can make it portable, even better. Go down to London. Go see your best photographers, videographers, football players, whoever you want to talk to. Just really focus on that one thing once. Because if you don't, you're going to spread yourself too thin and you're going to get bored really fast.
You have a very good point. But I mean, I agree with most of what you're saying, but there's a slight bit of what you're saying with investing money into thingy. I rather use what you have and make it count. So like with the podcast journey and with YouTube, it's not necessarily it's necessarily for growth. It's for myself, it's for the Tenet Productions, it's for the people in the network to measure the growth, to measure how far we've come.
I think if you're going to do it for that reason and you're not looking to make money from it, that's fine. But if you're wanting to be a podcaster, and I think podcasting is probably one of the best industries to be in right now, I'd spend thousands. If I felt like I was comfortable doing this day in, day out, talking to people on camera, I'd spend tens of thousands on podcasting. Because I feel like this is an industry, in the next 5 years, it's just going to blow even more. You've got people like Joe Rogan and Logan, Paul, and all these, big influencers that have gone into it. They're not doing it because it's fun to chat to people. Do you know what I mean? It's serious money. And little people can do the same, but you've got to invest in a good setup, quality lights, quality audio. Be surprised how much audio means, to doing it. And it's just really invest in that one thing. So no matter what you're doing, and it goes to any business, don't spread yourself too thin on stuff. Just master that one thing that you want to do. And then after that, have fun.
I understand, and that's a very good point, guys. It's got me thinking as well. I mean, our niche now is mainly weddings, but I do love this passion project that started with YouTubers and the podcast industry, and I'm excited to see where it goes because this is, I think, the 7th episode I've filmed.
You could be Asian Joe Rogan. You never know.
You've heard it here first, guys. You've heard it here first.
Joe Rogan, reach out.
Right. I think we're coming up towards the end of this podcast, and it's been amazing having a chat with you. As always, we normally have this chat on the way home from a wedding, so I think what we'll do is it's just another day in the office for us. We might need to do a mukbang soon.
You what?
A mukbang.
Yeah.
Do you know what they are, yeah?
No.
It's not what you think it is, guys. Dirty mind, man. Comment down below what you think it is. But mukbang is when you got like a plate of food, big, like Mackey's, KFC, whatever, and you're just eating and talking.
Yeah.
Many people do it. It's on Instagram and TikTok, whatever. It's called a mukbang.
I've had that before, but never known what it's been called.
We've done it before, but we've not filmed it. Yeah, I'm excited to see me and Garry go on our journey into content creation, because Garry does help out a lot with Tenet Productions behind the scenes. Like I do mention his name, and you guys have
Ginger Dave.
Well, I mentioned Dave or Garry, but like, who's this guy? He's here. Take a good look at him.
Last time, nah.
But yeah, it's been an amazing having a chat with you, and I'm going on to the final question now.
Oh God.
What's the next big goal for you? Not for your business, for you.
For me.
For Gareth.
Buy a house abroad. Yeah, that's my main
Why
goal.
abroad? Why not here?
England. Sorry. But yeah.
You're British, though, man.
Never liked being inbred.
It's like betraying your own. It's like me saying
I lived in Greece when I was 18. Literally, I was reading the newspaper in the airport. My mum and dad, my dad's 50th, and I was like, I'm staying over there. And they were like, you what? And I went, nah, I'm just going to stay over there when I get there. And they're like, no, you're not. 2 weeks later, got home, sold all my stuff, went back home. So, yeah, it's just, I've always loved being abroad. I like the culture. England, it's boring.
Yeah, I mean, where would you want to retire?
France is looking good because it's not too far away and you can buy really good cheap property over there. But me personally, Canaries, Greece, somewhere around that area. But
nice, man. But anyways, where can we find you as well? Like
Greece, Canaries.
where can we find you on social media? Like
Ginger and Fizz.
So Instagram, TikTok?
Nah, just Facebook. I don't really use social media.
So Facebook, Gareth Earnshaw, or Ginger and Fizz.
Yeah.
If you want. So guys, so we'll just do that again. Sorry, 1 second. So it's been great speaking to Garry. I mean, Garry, where can we find you on social media?
Just on Instagram and Facebook, Ginger and Fizz. You'll find me.
No worries, man. And if you have any questions, be sure to reach out to him. Or if you want, comment down below, guys, on anything that you want us to ask Garry. I mean, he's pretty much with me when we're shooting wedding films. So we'll be sure to.
If you need to book a wedding,
Tenet Productions, man. If you want to book an English wedding,
Tenet Productions and Ginger and Fizz. Don't matter.
Ginger and Fizz, but we're both combined anyway, guys. We both have our own entity, but we both come together for the forces of good to destroy the evil.
And food.
And food as well. But yeah, honestly, it's been a great and an emotional and an amazing journey speaking to Garry. I've got to know a bit more about him and his values, and I enjoyed every part of it. But yeah, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
And take care, guys. Stay safe and
wash your hands.
yes.
Look
Look at that. You know that already, man.
It's getting bad, man.
Let's go, bro.